Good morning, everyone. Welcome to an episode 3 of the Pop-Up Podcast. I am your host, MrBooMStickXL, and today we're going to be talking about Bethesda's incredible conference. Now, I originally thought I was going to do this solo, but at the last minute, my very good friend bailed me out because I think it might have been an epic fail. That is, of course, the man that served his country with absolute distinction and is now retired right alongside me. That is Predator H2O. What's going on, dude? Thank you for bailing me out of possibly ruining my good name.
Oh, man, you ain't going to ruin your name, man. I'm glad to be on. You know me, man. I come in from the bench whenever needed. So if you ever need a body on the podcast, man, hit me up. But I know we got
dude, I definitely appreciate it, brother. Listen, this is E3 week, right? And I'm going to say this. If you can't get excited about what's going on in gaming, then maybe this might not be the, hobby for you. I mean, we were talking pregame about how as soon as January came, we were counting down the months, right, on how long it was to E3, right? Whether that be now, 5 months and 4 months and 3 months. Now we're at E3 week, and listen, it started off with a bit of a crawl with the EA conference. We won't go into that. Then Microsoft literally blew it out of the water. The fire that was raging in Redmond, they put out last night. I walked away from it a very satisfied Xbox fan. I'll get into your thoughts in a second. And then, of course, I stayed up late watching the Bethesda conference, rewatched this morning while my wife was getting ready to go to work. And took a bunch of notes, and we're gonna dive into that. But so far, Predator, how are you enjoying E3?
I think the EA conference is a good lead-in with Anthem. I think people were anticipating that game. The rest of what EA had to show wasn't really all that exciting to me. I think Anthem was the main course. They did some nice announcements. We were talking about this pregame about the Origin access and stuff, and what a money saver that's going to be for all of us who have multiple consoles, including PC. But leading up to the Xbox conference, even after the conference was done, I was still just trying to soak all of it in. I still missed stuff. I didn't miss the conference per se, but there's stuff I forgot because there was so much other stuff in there. Like as the conference went on, I completely forgot about Halo.
Yeah, that's right.
I forgot about the Sessions game. I forgot about Ori. I had to go back and rethink what I just saw, and it took hours to actually soak in everything and all the announcements that there were. Because there was just keep in mind, if you look at the past E3 conferences, Phil's on stage, Charlotte's on stage. You got all these people coming up on stage talking. I don't even remember people being on stage. I think Phil came out twice, maybe.
I think it was 2 times that he came out. Yeah, it wasn't. It was more. Listen,
there's so much gameplay. Many game announcements.
Yes, absolutely. It's what you wanted as a fan. You didn't want people coming up to talk. You wanted to see the games.
In retrospect, the conference we're about to talk about, I thought they had too many people on stage. We'll get into that in a minute, but I think they did a great job. I think Microsoft did a great job. They brought the studios they purchased. It's everything we've been complaining about is Xbox gamers came to light. It's they listened.
All right, you know what? Like I said, this is going to be about Bethesda, but again, it's a conversational podcast. So no, we're going to talk. I want to get your opinion. Out of the 5 studios that they mentioned, what got me, I jumped off the couch. I said this on the air, and it possibly could have tweaked something. I'm an old man, so I got to be careful doing these ridiculous actions. Ninja Theory blew my mind.
That was a complete shock.
That was completely, I couldn't have guessed that ever.
No, if anybody assumed that they were going to do that, they're out of their fucking mind. And it's funny because me and Crap were kind of talking in DMs, and I was like, do you think they're going to get any of the studios? Because there was rumored 3 studios.
Yes.
If you remember back in the day, and everybody's like, oh, it's going to be, the guys from PUBG, it's going to be EA, and we all kind of bought into that too. Yeah, it's possible, they're going to buy Valve. And let's be honest, there's always some truth to something. And maybe those were on the table, maybe not on the table. Maybe they were discussed. Let's put it that way. It was talked about at one point in time, and nothing happened with it. They wanted too much money, and they said, fuck it, And so they went and they got Obviously the one they created, the initiative. Uh, what was it? Not turn 10. Games,
Playground. Yes.
which was huge. I wasn't really excited about Compulsion Games. I just don't really know what they do.
Yeah, they did the one game, but you know what? They do have a good pedigree, and they have the potential. You see, you know what it is? I think what the exclamation point on the purchases was that every one of those studios know how to tell an incredible single player story.
Yep, and it's one of the things that what we've been saying for
Yes.
what the narrative. They took that narrative away about it, even though we may not see those games for a while. And it's the potential's there. And something else that came out, and I was talking to some people, like there's some little sub announcements there that people didn't catch up on. They might not have seen it in Twitter or it wasn't discussed anywhere, but like Playground Games is working on 2 open world IPs, not just one. I'm
Yes.
assuming one is Fable. So that's a
Yes.
game announcement. We got another game announcement supposedly today at Inside Xbox. It's going to be an exclusive. So that's at least 3 exclusives. That Skate Game Sessions is an exclusive, even though it's an indie.
Right.
So people are like, oh, there's no where your there were no exclusive game announcements. Yeah, they kind of were. They just didn't tell you what
I went over
were.
the list, and you know what? When you watch a 2-hour show, because there's so much going on, it's too much for a person to process. So after I wrote everything down and I was going over my notes for last night's show that I did, I was like, holy shit, they really showed a lot of first party stuff. Maybe not be the new first party stuff that, of course, we would have all liked Fable. Of course, we would have liked the rumored Perfect Dark. Of course, we would have liked Crimson Skies and Mech Assault that they're currently supposedly working on. But you know what? What they did for the brand and for the fans who have been getting kicked in the teeth the entire last 18 months is they didn't just show a roadmap. They opened up they opened up the blinds and let all the sunlight in and say, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, they didn't give any times. They didn't say, okay, in 18 months you're going to get a Fable 4. But they opened up the door that was closed that everyone complained about, and they showed what they're doing. So I think that was great.
Yeah. No, and there's a lot of stuff that they didn't mention, like that was rumored, that we kind of know is happening, but we just haven't really heard it yet. Maybe they'll announce it today at Inside Xbox, but like there's a new controller coming.
Yes.
There's like what is it? Avatars coming. I mean, that stage probably wasn't the place to put it with everything they had to show in and
right.
But what else? I mean, there's other stuff that's not necessarily games related, but it's Xbox related news. It was not announced on stage.
Well, you know what? I did
get a lot of footage either for a lot of games.
Yes. Well, I did see, I was wondering, if you looked on stage, you saw that special controller that they made, the adaptive controller. And I'm wondering if that was going to be, I thought for sure they were going to do some sort of demonstration. Now, I've always been for that. I think that's the greatest thing to come to gaming in a very, very long time. But you know what? Maybe they'll go into more detail during the Xbox shows that they're going to have throughout the week, which I think there's going to be at least 5 or 6 of them. So that's a perfect time. But you know what? Let's jump right into Bethesda. We were talking pregame, and you had made mention that there was a lot of talking. And you said it a few minutes ago, and I kind of agree with you, but I am going to say this. When Todd Howard comes out on stage, regardless of whether he's there for 2 minutes or 20 minutes, the guy is complete electricity. I love the way he speaks to fans, because he doesn't speak through you as a fan just because you're sitting in the audience. He speaks to you as a fan, and I think that is really, really important. And I have a list. Like I said, I took a bunch of notes. We're gonna break down from start to finish. Some of course were small announcements, like the card game. No one really, if you're into card games like Magic, I was as a kid. My brother Neo Mento, who was in the chat, we used to play like lunatics. We loved Magic the Gathering, but I don't know if I'd played on the device. But let's start out with Rage 2. What was your thoughts on Rage 2?
That game looked crazy. Like it kind of reminded me of Mass Effect Andromeda a little bit, like when I was playing that in the back in the day, I guess maybe last year. like just all the mechanics of the game, like shooting people and they kind of float through the air, and like I thought it looked great. The driving mechanics,
Driving
it's
looked sick, dude.
yeah, even like the explosions are so colorful and vibrant, and I was like, man, this game looks. And I wasn't even interested. I've never played Rage. I've never been interested in the franchise. Never even thought twice. Even when I heard about this announcement a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, Rage, whatever. But after seeing it, I'm like, whew, that's a game I'll have to pick up. It looked great. I was really, I mean, that they started off with the exception of the band they played in the beginning,
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
gameplay
yeah,
started
yeah.
off with, that was the perfect game to start with.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta tell you, it looked so much more than just your average FPS with the powers, and it obviously has a realistic look, but it didn't it seem like it had, like what's that other game that's a FPS that's cell shaded?
Uh, I know.
Borderlands. Yes, it had the Borderlands kind of a feel to it, but with realistic graphics and the powers that you can get. Holy, I didn't see that coming. Like I thought it was just going to be a Mad Max for FPS, which is kind of what the first one was. I don't really, man, it's been a while since I played it, so I don't recall getting any powers per se. I know the weapons were dope and the driving mechanics were just as good. That just recently became backwards compatible on your Xbox One. If you've never played it, man, get out there and get Rage 1. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't go out and get the disc part because it's 4 discs. I'd rather just get it as a digital, so you don't have to download anything other than the one download. But we're gonna move on to again. This is not a big announcement. The Legends card game. If you're into the card games on your tablet or on your phone, it looks great. I mean, it's going to fall in line with all the other card games that have come before it. I really don't want to spend too much time. You have any thoughts on that?
Nope.
Okay, well, let's move on to the Elder Scrolls Online. See, now this is where I want to talk a little bit because I purchased this way back in the days, and I haven't put a lot of time into it. But if you want a Skyrim Elder Scrolls game right now, this just popped into Game Pass with all of its DLC, and that's just ridiculous because the game they are constantly every quarter putting something new into this game, and they right during the event they mentioned 2 DLCs coming. I mean, the support that they've shown this game is just bananas.
Yeah. If I'm mistaken, tell me, but isn't the DLC like $60 each?
They're expensive. Yeah, they're expensive, dude. So yeah, they're expensive.
But the fact they put it on Game Pass is a good way to draw people into getting the game, and then if they get hooked on it, then they'll definitely want the DLC later.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Well, listen, I mean, the game itself, I think I remember paying $60 for it. I think I paid full price when it came out. I didn't put a lot of time into it, and it's a shame because it's one of those games that are in the backlog. My backlog is as tall as I am, and I'm 6 feet. So, yeah, so I was interested in that, but you know what? Let's move on to the big one. This was a big reveal. I kind of had a feeling they were going to say something about it, but I did not know for sure. And that, of course, is Doom Eternal. Man, anything Doom after the reboot is good for me. What about you, bro?
I got into Doom for a little bit. I was excited about it. There were some rumors circulating there's going to be a Doom exclusive Doom for Xbox, like maybe I think that Saturday night or something like that before the conference. And I thought this was going to be it for a minute there. It's multiplayer, and I think that's what kind of caught me off guard, like just being able to play with my stepson whooping his ass.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. The guy was like, more power, more this, more that. I wish they would have given us more information about it instead of having to wait until
QuakeCon, yeah, that was the only thing that was a little heart wrenching is that we didn't see any gameplay. They are going to show QuakeCon, but they did say that there's twice the amount of monsters. It's twice as big as the original. I got to be honest with you. Okay, it's just a CG trailer, but could you imagine if it's kind of open world ish? You know what I'm saying? If you're actually in hell and it's kind of like it's not corridor shootings, like the other one where it's kind of more. I don't know, like Rage, for instance, where you're just kind of just going all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, so we didn't get a lot of information on it. I mean, I'd be happy to see more gameplay QuakeCon. But I mean, the fact they announced it, I mean, again, perfect stage to do it, you know, instead of waiting until QuakeCon. But I didn't like the tease. I wish they'd have showed us a little bit more.
Yeah, you know what? That's no one likes that. No one. I mean, listen, it's kind of like I don't know. Would it be better for them not to say anything, or kind of just be like, okay, here's a guy stepping on a skull. Bye.
Well, no, I mean, like it's different. It'd be different if it's like, okay, we're like how they did at the end of the show, which we'll get to. Like, we have this game in production. This game sounds like it's already ready to go.
Yes,
they're holding off to tell us about it later. So the announcement to tell us is coming later. You know, if to bring them on stage just to say that it wasted a lot of time, because
I agree.
Did it like they did at the end of the show and said, "Oh, we got 3 more announcements to make: Doom, and then the other 2 that we'll get into later." And then that would have been great. You know, you'll hear more about Doom at QuakeCon this year. Here's a quick footage of it, and they kind of did that little reel they did, and then had Howard Guy come out and announce the other 2 games right at the end. That'd have been perfect. But you know, they waste a lot of time dragging those guys out there discussing some stuff, and then and that was it. And something that I mean, I don't want to get into specifics here of the conference, but like something that kind of got me about their conference, it seemed like the crowd was disengaged in the beginning.
They seemed a little dead. Yes, I agree.
They were asking for applause, like the guys.
The guy was like raising his hands. Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, look, I've never been to E3. It is on my bucket list. There's no way I could have afforded it this year. I'm hoping that maybe next year the finances will kind of dictate, it'll be a little better for me. I'm going to get there. I don't give a shit how I get there. If I got to be folded up in someone's luggage, I'm going one way or another. Like I said, it's on my bucket list, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to be 48. So obviously I always say I'm the old man in the room, and I totally get it. I'm cool with it, right? Experience and all that. But if I don't care where I'm sitting, if I'm sitting on a cardboard box in the corner, okay, and I'm at one of these things, you could rest assured that you're going to be like that guy that screams, okay, what are you guys here to hear? And you hear the guy yelled out during the conference, Todd Howard. That would be me. Because, listen, E3, I've never been there. I know there's been a lot of people that have been there a dozen times. And if you have, man, I don't envy you. I applaud you. I think that is great for you. But if you can't get excited sitting in that seat, there is something wrong with you, dude. Yeah. I mean, come on.
It might have been a long day for some of those people too.
I guess, yeah, maybe, but I don't. It's like Christmas, man. It's like, who doesn't get excited for Christmas or whatever holiday that you celebrate? It doesn't matter. How could you just be there?
They're like coming down off that sugar high, man.
I guess. Well, listen, we're gonna move on to Unreal Tournament. I played a lot of this on the Dreamcast with another friend of mine who's in the chat, Jada Destroyer. We used to play it. If I recall correctly, I think it was either the Sega Saturn or the Dreamcast. One of those, because one of those systems had it. We used to play it all the time, and we would go back and forth who was winning, and we take tallies, and it was a lot of fun. I'm very interested to see where they take it. I gotta be honest, I'm very surprised that there wasn't a console announcement for this game. I think it would do very well as a free-to-play game on the consoles. What are your thoughts, Pred?
Yeah, that's a good point. Wasn't it on Xbox at one point in time, like years ago? Maybe it was Saturn. I thought it was on the original Xbox or something.
Maybe it was. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it was. Yeah.
I think I played it. I couldn't get into it. I think I was more into Halo around that time, so this wasn't my type of game. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like, would have been great to have an announcement that was coming to consoles. I mean, I don't know. I always look at E3, and Don corrected me on this the other day, but I always kind of look at E3 as a console, something more suited for console gamers. And I know they have a PC thing there too. Some of these things gets announced there, but it's always seemed like an afterthought for us console gamers to kind of not to pay attention to PC stuff. So you're right. They could have announced something on console if that was in the works or not. It may not be, but I mean, it's one of their franchises. I forget about it because it's mostly a PC type thing, and I don't really play Quake. But it's a huge game. I guess a lot of people like. I mean, they have QuakeCon, so not Quake. Jesus, we're talking about that's my train of thought. I'm working at the same time.
Nah, it's okay. Listen, dude, we're here just hanging out. 2 guys with a bunch of people in the chat. And we're just enjoying ourselves.
I mean, it's a huge franchise for them. It just doesn't seem to pick up steam for us console gamers that much. So,
I agree. I mean, look, again, the normal development of a game is it starts out on PC and it's ported over to the consoles. I'm not sure if a lot of people know that. Like when we talk about, well, no, they're making it for the console. They're actually making it for the PC, and then it's just brought down in specs.
yeah, thanks, Daz. He said it was on a PS2 and OG Xbox.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, it was. Okay, so I look, here's the thing. I don't think it could hurt the brand. And being that they have such a great relationship with Microsoft, why not just bring it as an exclusive? Make a deal and bring something that you can't play anywhere else other than the PC, because that's the thing that kind of a little annoys me about the whole Xbox PC thing. And I don't want to kind of just change gears real quick, and that's a pun I'm going to turn into a second. Um, I don't like the idea that games for the Xbox can go to PC, but PC games can't go to the Xbox. And I want to talk about the Gears strategy game. I was a little pissed, and I reached out multiple times to Rod Ferguson as well as Phil Spencer trying to get some clarification. And as far as I know, it's only coming to PC, and that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And like you say, they start on PC, they kind of get ported over at some point in time. But a lot of those games, like there's some games that like there's just so many buttons,
Yeah.
so many actions you have to take on some of those games where like it almost makes it impossible to port it over. I remember trying to play Counter-Strike with a controller. It's not fucking feasible on PC. Like, and maybe that's why I've never played Unreal on PC, so I don't know what the control mechanics are. But that may be one of the reasons why. Just like like sometimes some of those games, the community is so large. I mean, like imagine playing crossplay on Xbox and PC with a game like that, where you're kind of limited to the amount of buttons that you have available to you. You'd be at a disadvantage, and you're already at a disadvantage because the reaction time for the controller versus the mouse and keyboard are a lot slower. But that just adds another loop to it. So they'd have to make basically a console only version of the game, and I don't really think it worked very well with Counter-Strike when they did that back on the Xbox. So they see where their bread and butter is. They have a huge community probably on PC, and don't want to have to deal with making that for Xbox as well.
Yeah, that's true. Listen, we can't cry about spilled milk. We're gonna move on to the next one, dude. Prey. There's gonna be a big giant patch for the game Prey, which I bought. It was a great looking game. I put about maybe 4 or 5 hours into it, got buried with whatever else was out there. What about you, Prey? Did you
Yeah,
play?
that was one of those games I didn't pick up because there was so much other shit out around that time. I remember playing the first Prey, and this one was a big. From what I've seen so far of it, it seemed like a big change from the original.
Oh, absolutely, tremendous change from the original.
And I didn't pick it up. Just like I said, I become a smarter consumer. I used to buy everything and never play them. So now I'm like, okay, if I know there's so much shit out that I want to play, I'm not gonna pick up a game I'll probably never play or play later. So I'll just wait until it either is cheaper or I have time to actually start up a new game. Prey was one of those games I had to push to the wayside. So the DLC,
yeah, Moon Crash. Yeah, that's what. Listen, I one thing you have to tip your hat. This game came out last year, and they're still supporting it. That's a big deal, man.
yeah. And they announced this morning. They didn't announce this on stage yesterday, but they announced this morning that's getting a 4K enhanced upgrade too.
Yes, it's going to be enhanced, which is again, fantastic. The game is relatively old, but still getting support from the company, and you can tell that the developers still want to make stuff for the game. Like there's still excitement for the developers to continue telling a story. I mean, that's all you ask for when it comes to a developer. They're not just putting it out to get money; they're putting it out because they care about the product.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next topic, dude. And this one was exciting for me. Exciting for me because both my brother and I have been huge Wolfenstein fans from the beginning. Wolfenstein Youngblood. I had a feeling they were going to announce something. I did not think it was going to be this. and the fact that they're bringing co-op to the game, that's sick, bro. Oh my god, man. Well, what do you think about it?
You know, when I initially saw this, I thought it was just like an add-on to the original, to the one we have now. I guess it's a brand new game.
Yes.
Did they put in a release date on this?
They did not have a release date for it. All that there was talked about, the fact is that it is his twin daughters, and that it's going to be taking place in the 80s.
Okay. Yeah. Hope it doesn't come out February 22nd.
Oh, you know what? We'll end the show with that because that needs to be discussed. 4 games, man. So listen. If you see me out there collecting cans, people, throw the bottles in my bag because it's going to be expensive February 22nd. I have a funny feeling a couple of those titles are going to move, but we'll see. Okay, so we're going to get into, I think, obviously the big one of the show, because that's what, I'm going in order of the actual show. Fallout 76. For a lot of reasons, this is a big deal. When the unveil happened last week, there was very little information. And right away, the first tidbit of information that popped out was that it was going to be a base building thing. So, of course, right away, people are thinking, okay, it's going to be like Sim City with Fallout, or can I still have actions? And they blew the doors off of the game by saying that it was going to be multiplayer. I mean, now, is that multiplayer, like if you're kind of just in that world and someone wants to be a dick and they can kill you, kind of like like in, like, I don't know, the Division, like the Dark Zone?
I kind of got that sense from there when he showed the gameplay. Like, you can, like, it's not like 100 people multiplayer. He said it's like maybe like 12 to 15.
Okay.
And like you can all be in the same world at the same time and kind of cause chaos, I guess. But I've tried to play Fallout. I've tried to play Vegas. I've tried to play the recent one. I just cannot get into that franchise. Like, I get started, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This isn't interesting to me. Why am I building shit? I'm like, I just want to go shoot things. And like, that's a game. Like, I don't need the building aesthetics of it. Just give me the gun. Let me go find gear. All the building, like upgrading something is one thing, but having to build, I'm like, it just doesn't turn me on when it comes to games. So,
I'm wondering if that's because, in Fallout 4, there was a huge building aspect to it. You could build if you wanted to. I chose not to. Like, I never bothered. Like, I had a base. I kind of maybe threw a few things together here and there, but they were always unhappy because they were all a bunch of lazy so-and-sos in that base. Like, yeah, your base hates you and whatever. I'm like, okay, well, I'm out here trying to save the world, so I'm sorry that they hate me,
Yeah, that's what I'm a simple objective guy. Just give me a couple of small missions, let me go do that, and give me something else to do. Don't add all this other shit into it as well. It kind of takes me and detracts me, and that's why I don't like games like this, like The Witcher and stuff like that. Like, I want to stay on the story, and I gotta go do crafting, and I get lost in that shit. And it's like, I know it's for the gameplay mechanics. You have to do that kind of stuff, and it helps your character build along. But like a God of War for me was perfect. I just had to find some things and turn it to a shop, and they do it for me. So
yeah. I definitely. Well, I'm going to say this. A good friend of the show, good friend of yours, good friend of mine, sent out a tweet this morning. Of course, I'm talking about the Mooch, and he brought to my attention the collector's edition for Fallout 76. Now, again, everyone knows I love collector's editions. I have multiples. I tweet about them all the time. I'm getting the Spider-Man. This one, the Fallout 76 comes with a wearable helmet from the armor, which looks absolutely dope. I already pre-ordered mine from GameStop. Listen, like I said, I don't care if I got to get on the side of the road and collect cans. I'm getting that collector's edition because damn, it's a wearable helmet, and I have in storage that I purchased when it came out, and I never opened it. I have the Pip-Boy, and I also have the Nukem bomb that was for a PC only. It came with actually a replica of the nuke ammo that you shoot, and all the discs were inside. So I have those brand new, never opened, and obviously I'm going to do some sort of an unboxing closer to when that comes out in November. But man, that helmet looked dope. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. How much was that, by the way?
$200.
Okay. You come with a
Yeah.
game at least?
You know what? Here's the thing. Hold on. Mooch asked if it came with the game, or I think Luca might have asked another good friend of the show. And I don't know if they answered, so I can't really say. I didn't read the specs. If it comes with like a D, hopefully it comes with the game. At least comes with the game. But you know what? I can't honestly say, man. I don't know.
You didn't care at the time.
Yeah, I just wanted to get locked because you know what? Those Fallout collector's editions sell out quick.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to pay any eBay prices.
Yeah, I hear you.
So okay, so next up, I mean, again, smaller titles. It looked interesting. I would definitely try it. Of course, I'm talking about the Elder Scrolls Blades for mobile. It kind of looked like a hack and slash. Anyway, it could be because you're kind of swiping the screen. Did you get a chance to take a look at that?
Yeah, I'm actually interested. It's free, you know.
Yes, it's a
So
free. Yes, free
can't
mobile DLC.
complain about free. And then he said it was going to probably come to like everything: Switch, PC, Windows 10, whatever, tablets. So I mean, like, you know, there's milking that franchise out there, aren't they?
Yeah, well, you know, we're gonna talk about that in a second. Talk about milking the franchise.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm interested in it. Just as something to fuck around with when I'm taking a dump or something. But
yeah, man,
I mean,
it's good for that 5 minutes, bro. I mean,
yeah,
listen,
man,
you're sitting on a train at a doctor's appointment.
I might spend an extra 5 minutes on that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to kill some time. But I mean, it looked, for a mobile game, it looked really good.
Yeah, no, it did. It graphically, it looked fantastic. I'm going to be honest with you. I was very excited. Again, smaller title, but it's still Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, it looked better than PUBG on Xbox. So
it does, and that's disgraceful. But you know, well, listen, pretty much everything. A sock on the floor might look better than PUBG at some point. So, okay, I want to talk about the comedy that was the levity in the whole show from start to finish. I thought was a fantastic change of pace. There was a lot of talking, but there was also a lot of comedy. And of course, they made fun of themselves that they basically put Skyrim on everything.
That was awesome.
That first of all, I love that actor. I think he is absolutely hilarious when he gets on the screen. I've really enjoyed everything he's been in, and the fact that they involved Amazon with it was just priceless. I mean, because at first I'm like, no, this can't, is this real? Are they serious? And they just went to town, and it was, what were your takes on it? I was laughing from start to finish.
When in the beginning, he first started it, I was like, what are you talking about? And he started pulling out Alexa, and it almost sounded like, those old like books you used to get where you had like 3 choices and they'd be like,
yes,
turn the page.
Yes. Yep.
Or this action, turn it in so you can finish the story out. That's what it kind of sounded like at first. And at first I'm thinking like, is this real? Are they really doing this right now? And then so Alexa would come back with the options and stuff like that. But once I realized it, like that lasted like, for no shit, I probably thought about it for like 3 minutes. And then like after he stopped and his wife came in there or whatever and started, I knew this was like a spoof, how we joke about them putting Skyrim on everything. I think the tone was set off in the very beginning of the show when he made a joke about the Walmart leak.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. That was a great way to open the show. Our friends at Walmart Canada, that was great. That was hilarious. It was good. Yeah. Listen, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of people in the chat. First of all, my brother Neo Mental was like, if it doesn't come with the game, he's smacking someone. Listen, hold it. Don't assault anyone. A good friend of the show also, Miso Newbie, was also in the same boat, but he went and looked, and he's confirming that it does come with the game. So big shout out to Miso Newbie. Thank you for that. That was great to confirm, because you know what? I'm going to be honest. Here's the thing. I'm such a dope that I really enjoy collections. I probably would have purchased it anyway. So I am the problem. There's no doubt about that. So let's see what else we got to talk about. And then we're going to get into E3 impressions. We're not just going to end the show as soon as we're done with Bethesda, but we want to talk about everybody, everything that was in there. At the end of the show, Todd Howard came out and of course he had jokes all over the place. And those commercials, those commercials that they were playing every few minutes were fantastic. I thought that they were everything. The production value, in my opinion, was really well done, really well thought out. And like I said, I'm a ginormous fan of Todd Howard. I think the way he speaks to the fans is fantastic. I think he's pretty active on Twitter. If you do tweet at him, I think he actually might have retweeted something I tweeted when the other collector's edition came out a couple of years ago. He's very social, and I do like that. And he did, obviously he talked about a few things that they were working on, and I know that you want to get into it because that's your favorite franchise. He mentioned Starfield. All they showed was a logo. Were you expecting to see anything about Starfield, or you were, you're kind of okay with the way it was presented?
I thought we'd either get Starfield or the Elder Scrolls, and I thought we'd get footage of at least one of them.
Okay.
Specifically Starfield, because I think they're a little ways off from Elder Scrolls. But
oh yeah, well they're working on a new engine, I think.
Yeah, we got neither. So that's what I was like, man, they could have, when they showed Starfield, I was like, that's it, that's all we get. Like, oh, man. So then he started talking about Elder Scrolls. I really thought we get some gameplay of that, and we didn't get either one of those. So, I mean, they got to hold something for next E3. They don't have a lot of franchises per se that they're working on right now, it doesn't seem. So they got to hold something out. I mean, at least that we know what they're working on it. They can kill those rumors. They can shut some fans up just by saying that. And people are still excited. It's not like I lost an edge of excitement because they didn't put enough out there. I mean, I'm still excited about those games. I just don't know what Starfield is, specifically what that one is. But, in hindsight, like if, I was argumentative about the Xbox conference because they didn't tease something like that at the end that way, the same way they just did it at Bethesda. I wish they would have done something like that with whatever, whether it's Fable or whatever else someone else is working on, just a little quick teaser so we can be like, okay, what is this? Or like a brand new IP, kind of like how they did with Smash Brothers. And I think that they did something with that with Sony's side. They kind of just put like the words out there, and that was it. That's all you needed. And
yes. All you do need is basically you flash a title screen, everyone goes bananas.
Yeah, and they didn't do that in the Xbox conference. I know we're talking about Bethesda, but I would have liked to have seen something more from those two, at least one of the two. Something in-engine trailer or story trailer or something like that for one of the games. We can get an idea of what is going to be happening or where they're going to go with the franchise.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, no, we're going to move right into, of course, your favorite. Obviously, what we're talking about, like secretly, but we'll bring it out to the light. That the Elder Scrolls 6, everybody wants, and I know you're a big fan. How excited are you for this title?
Not yet. I mean, honestly, dude, I still have not beaten. Again, RPGs are my fucking bane. Like, I'll get like about 75% into it, and like
that last.
That last 4 hours of gameplay just kill me,
Yeah,
oh, man, because something else comes out, and like I've been playing The Witcher slowly, trudging through The Witcher, and I haven't even touched the DLC yet, and I'm probably about 80% done with it.
Whoa!
But like, and yeah, and like I have I'm still like, where are my fucking achievements at? Like nothing. Like it's just, I still got room. I still got room to work on that one. So if they'd have came with another Witcher, I'd have been fucking pissed. But. But like again, RPGs are like, they're not my favorite. I will play them. I will get immersed in some of the story, but as soon as something else comes out, a new shinier toy comes out, I move on to it. So I'm okay with them not releasing this for another year or so, because I still got other shit I gotta play in between the time this game comes out. So
yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I mean, look, I think that we have a lot to play. I think that we have a lot to look forward to as gamers. Listen, I really enjoyed their show. They did mention a few small little things that I thought, we'll talk about it for a hot second, and then we'll move on to some E3 impressions as a whole. They announced Prey VR and Wolfenstein VR, both playable. I know they're going to be playable at their booth. They did not specify what console it's going to be on. I would imagine it's going to be on Oculus Rift because they're very PC heavy, that company. I think that maybe You know, it might be on PlayStation VR simply because we have Skyrim VR and we have Doom VR. So, what are your thoughts on the adding some VR to some of these games?
Just like Todd was saying on stage, they're branching out to everything. So, I'm not a huge VR guy. I don't own VR. I probably never will. I think that unless they show something else within the VR community that's just like just the hot shit, I assume that's just going to become a fad here in another year or so. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah. I mean, I support PlayStation VR. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I have about 10 or 15 games for it. I really enjoy it. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I know it's not that big of a deal to plug the wire in and just go, but sometimes it's kind of a pain in the ass to kind of plug that wire in and go. I just want to like slap on a headset and go without wires. Maybe I'm being spoiled, but you know, that's for another whole show. I want to talk about, because I know there's a couple of people in the chat that are big fans, just like me and you, and especially my brother. We were salivating watching the show, the Division 2, bro. I mean, holy cow! Let's talk about this, because man, it is everything I think we all wanted, and it seemed extremely open world.
Yeah, and it does look open world, and I'm going to caution everyone, because I've been following the original Division since it got announced.
Yes, me too.
They took a lot of stuff out of that game. If you remember, like the demo they did in the very first Division, they had drones.
Yes,
you could use your friend could play on a tablet and control.
Yes,
like they have all these weird things in there, and then as the game got into development, they had to scale back a lot of stuff. But I will say it does look good. I love the open world aspect of it. Because even though the Division seems open world, it's really linear. It just like you can only go certain place. You can run around the whole fucking city, but everything that you do is pretty much localized in those tasks that you have to do. So like you can run around and go shoot like little, characters around the buildings and stuff like that in New York. But like you would always have to come back and do a mission. It will be the same building. It'd be the same area. Like the people will be doing the same thing. The dark zone, I couldn't really get into the dark zone in the beginning. The game got better over time. If they support Division 2 the way they did Division 1, this game will last at least 3 or 4 years. But I thought like the opening scene, I was hype. Like the jungle, the overgrowth and stuff like that.
Yes, I was like, is this Ghost Recon? Is this?
It reminded me at first I thought it looked like a little bit of Ghost Recon / Splinter Cell with the cover mechanics. And I was like, holy shit, this looks good, and again, it was a demo. You always have those people talking and coordinating and stuff like that, and that's how the game is supposed to be played. You coordinate like
Correct.
That. Yeah,
well, that's how way. Yeah, I mean, my friends and I, especially my brother, when we get down, we have a crew. We have a Division crew that we get down, and we're taking, hey man, go around the corner, flank, and then you're hitting the guy from the back while someone's giving cover fire. We do play like that. We're not as technical. Most of the time, we're just laughing and joking and cursing on the mic, But I gotta say, first of all, if a 47-year-old man goes to Comic-Con and dresses cosplay for the first time in his life as a Division agent, i.e. me, you can tell I'm a freaking fan of the game. Okay? I took a year to put that costume together, and I don't know if I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm interested to do it again. It was a lot of fun, but I have been chomping at the bit for them to expand on this game.
Neil Mendel says you're always dying.
Well, you know what? We do have a guy on our team called Band-Aid. He heals everyone, and the problem with me is that I'm the Captain America that runs into battle with no shield, kind of just looking.
Yeah, that's me.
And you know what? Like my friends, they make fun of me. Like they keep like, okay, hold up. I go around the corner, and I swear to God, everyone, it's not me. A group of bad guys always shows up around the corner when I'm just waiting there, and I have to get into a firefight. Yeah. And here I come. Here comes my guys. Oh, there he goes. Boom's at it again.
Yeah, there's just some stuff I think they need to. Okay, like with the Division, what kind of got me, like all the fucking gear sets, it seemed like so fucking much. And
I thought it was too much. Oh, yeah.
And Mooch always complains like, oh, what the hell is like, my damage is 14.19 thousand K. Like it's like just give me a number like 12. You know?
Yeah, you know what? I like the idea that they give you a lot of choice, but
Yeah,
sometimes too much
too
choice is
much.
not a good thing.
Yeah.
My brother just mentioned he calls me I'm the Leroy Jenkins of the division.
Yeah, man. But yeah, division is going to be nice. I mean, they said, was it February 22nd for that? No, it was March. It was March for
March,
that one.
yes, the end of March.
Yeah, I'm already in the beta. I already put in for the beta.
I know. I forgot. My brother got in. A couple of our friends couldn't. I got to see if I can get into the beta. My God, I have to get down with that. I'm actually gonna do that right after the show. So yeah, that was a big. That was big. Let's see. I'm gonna go into my notes and we're gonna look. Talk about some other things that you may be in. You know what? Let me ask you. What okay, we've had three press conferences, right? We've had EA, we've had Microsoft, and we also have had Bethesda. I believe today we're getting. Let me just go into my notes. I'll tell you.
Square, Ubisoft, and
Yes,
Sony
yes,
today.
yeah. Square is at I think 12. I think Ubisoft goes at 4. And then I think later on tonight we have Sony, which is at 9 o'clock our New York time.
Yep.
Um, of the three conferences that you've seen so far, what's been your favorite? Like what's a standout for you personally?
I'll go down the list. I will say for me, EA's conference, my biggest standout was their Origin Access.
That's big. Yeah, let's talk about that because
Um,
a lot of people don't know about it. That's a big deal.
and they're, I mean, obviously Anthem too. I don't want to make it about. I want to make it about games too, but Anthem was my biggest takeaway. But what stood out for me was Origins. As a guy who has a PC that plays on PC, it's a huge money saver for me with all the games I was planning on getting with them. I will gladly buy them on PC and gladly buy the Origin Access for $100 a year to play all the games I want on PC. It's like Game Pass basically, day and date games.
Yeah.
It's just basically it's the EA version of Game Pass. Like there's so many different possibilities. I hope they bring it to Xbox.
Yeah, my fingers are crossed. You know what? Here's the thing, Pred. I know that Xbox has Game Pass, but they don't have any EA games in there, and they're never going to simply because of EA Access itself.
Yeah.
They already have a working relationship with the company, and just I mean, think about this for a second. Just think if they if you're a Game Pass subscriber, right? It's $10 a month. If you are an EA Access subscriber, it's $5 a month or $30 a year, which is if you don't do the $30 a year, either you're rich or you need to have your head examined because $30 for all those games, you get 10% off all DLC, all games, and you get to play them early, which is great, right? For $70 more, you're going to have possible access, because we don't know if this is coming. I would imagine that they're going to work on this because I think they should bring this to the home console. All of those EA games for $100 a year. I don't even understand. Like I thought Game Pass was a steal. I think this is even a better steal.
Yeah. Yep. And again, it's tied to this PC. That's the biggest issue that everyone's going to have. So most people don't really give a shit because they don't have it on Xbox. But if they do, even if it's freaking crossplay, I'll deal with it. Like,
yes.
you know,
yeah,
just for the sake of the fact, because me and you were doing the math earlier, like there's like at least 4 games that I want. That's $240 for those 4 games.
Yeah.
But if I get that on EA Origin, whatever, that's something else at the end of that. But it's $100.
Plus all the extra games you might not have purchased.
Yeah, that you have to try out now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's other games, and they're like I got Crysis on EA. Like if you ever look at the Origin stuff, what they actually have on there, they have Crysis on. They have the Crysis series on there. They got a bunch of, now they're putting sports titles in there. Me and you were discussing this earlier. If you're a sports fan and you play these games, you buy these games every fucking year, NBA Live or whatever it is, and you know you're buying all these sports games every single year. That's $60 every single year. If you get this Origins Pass, whatever it is, that's $100 a year, and you get all those titles.
Yeah, it did. The
math every year. You're gonna buy it every year, so like
yes.
that takes away the fact. Because what I was doing with Madden, I used to be a huge Madden fan. After I kind of stopped playing it, I would just buy it every other year because it was just the same game.
It really was. It still is to some extent, to be honest with you.
And I'm not playing online. I'm just playing like the seasons and stuff like that by myself. But this way, at least now I get the new one, when it comes out. And I can go back and play the old ones. I can play Tiger Woods and stuff like that, or PJ Tour Golf, whatever it's going to be. I can play those games. I have to buy them every single year. I'll get the new upgraded version because I'm already in the plan. $100. Can't fight that. That's what was so exciting. Now, Anthem, as far as the games go, Anthem stole the show for me for the EA side. I was excited about that coming in. I was not disappointed about it going out. I think the release date is a different story.
Yeah. We're gonna get in that to a minute, but yeah, look.
For me, the other console, because I want to go down the list real quick before you go.
Sure.
Bethesda, for me, Rage was the hype factor. That game looked amazing. I was not interested in that game whatsoever, but I will probably pick this up for the Microsoft conference. The amount of games they showed, man, even if they're not exclusive to the console, like their entire show was just game. Here's Phil, game. Here's Phil again, game. And like it was just like it seemed like they did so much show, they didn't have to do any tell.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You know what was great about what they did? They let the game speak for them.
Yeah. They just came out and said, here's what we got. And then, something we've been asking for. We wanted a roadmap. We wanted to see what was coming down the pipe. And the thing is, all those games are coming out within the next year.
Yes.
It isn't shit that's like, with the exception of, I think, the Halo game, I think we'll have to wait for. They showed us that in the very beginning, but everything else after that, it seemed like it was coming between now and Christmas or holiday next year.
Yeah.
We'll get the gameplay. I mean, everyone's like, where's the gameplay? And I'm one of those people. But I'm a patient person. I know we'll see gameplay. I was disappointed they didn't show Crackdown gameplay.
I'm right there with you. I agree. Yeah.
But my highlight was definitely, them picking up the studios.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Big highlight for me personally as well.
I'll let you go down your list and.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off with Halo Infinite, and I'm going to show the reason why first of all, I'm a huge Halo fan. In fact, my brother Neo Mental and I, when we used to play, I mean, we never played competitive, but we were serious into playing Halo 2 back in the days. And we used to train with other guys. Like we would, get into a private lobby, and we would just take turns shooting and throwing grenades and sniping. It was actually hilarious that we would do that. But when we'd go out as a crew, we would wreck people's shit because we were training. It was bananas. Capture the flag, whatever, big team battle, you name it. We were into it. So some information popped up this morning, and I don't know if this has any relevance or not, but there were rumors saying that Halo Infinite is going to be like an open world Halo. Very similar to Destiny, and I got news for you. I hope that in fact is the case, because that would be dope.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. Just the way the game looked, like how Chief was standing up there on that mountain, or where the hell that was.
I mean, it looked very open world, just based on what they were showing.
But I mean, it's really, really soon, so we'll have to see what happens, because like they may change the story up a little bit from what we're assuming it's going to be. Between now and the time it releases, because what we're looking, I think we're not looking to see that game till 2020, to be honest with you, if they're coming out with Gears next year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I say this all the time. It worked really well for Nintendo when it came to releasing a Mario game and a Zelda game in the same year. As a matter of fact, they sold more consoles and more copies of those two games than pretty much just about anybody that year. So is it because this is kind of like a new and different Microsoft? Is it out of the question that we get, an early mid-year, like maybe in May we get a Gears, maybe in March, maybe in April we get a Gears, and then in the fall we get a Halo? Is it too much to think that that's a possibility?
I'm actually looking at a tweet right now that says rumor, so says that it may come out, the single player may come out in 2019 with the multiplayer to come out in 2020.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. Well, listen, give it to me in pieces. I don't care. Any Halo with Master Chief is a good Halo. I am down for that. That was one of my highlights. Obviously, being a gigantic fan, I am going to say this. I've always been. Everyone in the chat knows. I've said this numerous times. I'm a huge Capcom fan. If you remember, Pred, in the beginning of the year when we were speculating when Devil May Cry was rumored to be coming out, right away it was already locked in as a PlayStation 4 exclusive. You remember that, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a PS4 exclusive. Too bad. Bye. List war. We won, right? Well, not only is it not a PS4 exclusive, but I believe Microsoft has the marketing rights for that, which I think is a big. I mean, I'm a huge Dante fan. I like that they're going back to the original Dante. What were your takes away from it? Were you excited for the game?
Yeah, I mean, I actually leaked that out, I think earlier in the week that it was coming. It had been listed on a Japanese website that it was
Yeah.
coming to Xbox, and so when the announcement was made, it wasn't a huge surprise to me. I just hope they make the others back compat, put it on the Xbox. That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So people can get to the story and figure out what the story is all about. That'd be awesome if they did that. But I that this is just everyone's complaining about them not having these Japanese titles. Well, here you go. It's what you're asking for. So they're listening. People just
Yes,
sometimes take time.
It's funny. I want to roll into another game that had me excited, and someone had mentioned in the chat. Let me see who actually said this. Give me a second. Okay, Cedric H. Was talking about Sicario from Software. Now, when I first saw this, man, I thought Onimusha, because I'm a gigantic Onimusha fan. I loved each and every one of those games. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God. I jumped off my couch. I'm not going to lie. And then I came back down to earth when I said From Software. Okay, I get it. But you know what? You got to tip your hat to that company. They know how to make games. And the fact that we were able to see a Japanese type game like this that would normally never come to an Xbox console, it was exciting for me. What were your thoughts, Pred?
I can't remember what Phil said on stage. I don't know if it's this game or another game where he said he went to.
Yeah, he went to Japan. He did.
Was it this game he was talking about, or was it something
yes.
else?
Yep.
And we were discussing that on the podcast before, and we were saying, why did Phil go here? What is doing? Like they're bringing these titles over. We kept thinking it was going to be like Ninja Gaiden or Shinobi or something like that, and this one came out of nowhere because I don't remember seeing this game last year. I think it was on E3.
Nope.
I don't remember seeing it.
No, this was a world premiere. No one knew about this game.
Maybe it was the other game they're coming out with that everyone. I don't know. I have to go do some research. But for some reason, everyone kept saying that this game was a PlayStation exclusive, and it was
they have the one that's kind of like a Shinobi / Onimusha game that they're going to be showing this evening. Yeah. And that's different. That's whole.
That's what I kept sounding like. That doesn't sound right. It sounds like that other game, but they kind of look similar.
They do. Yeah, they do.
But I'm trying to think of what games this company's made.
Well, from Software, they did Bloodborne, right?
Did they?
I don't know.
They do Dark Souls.
You know what? I first of all, I suck at Dark Souls.
Looking right now, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Armored Core.
Yes, Armored Core. Yeah.
I mean, Ninja Blade. That game sounds familiar.
Ninja Blade was fantastic. If you've never played Ninja Blade, crack out your Xbox 360 and pop that in. That was absolutely fantastic. Loved it.
I was looking at some of these. I don't remember any of these. But I mean, it's a Japanese game, man. Again, like they're listening. We've been wanting to get these games on the console. And the fact that I don't know if it's going to help them sell consoles in Japan any faster.
No, but you know what though?
They're trying. They're trying.
Yeah, listen, they're giving it the old college effort for sure. Yeah. No doubt about that.
Complain about them not putting forth the effort when it's obvious they have been, and they're trying to by bringing some of these Japanese games over that really more appeal to a certain Sony crowd. They love these type of games. They deem it a shooter box, but you see, as they're trying to branch out their portfolio a little bit and expand. And I've had this argument with people before, and I tweeted this out earlier. I have to go back and look and see what I wrote. But like, You know, Microsoft, everyone kind of looks at Microsoft as just the Xbox. Well, not Microsoft, but the Xbox is just a console division. And, you know, if you look back at the since this generation, all the acquisitions that Microsoft has had, all the
Mhm.
stuff they've done as a company, they're not just a console company, they're a gaming division. And that's something people don't really take a lot of thought to. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
a lot of cogs. People don't think it's one big wheel that just spins.
I'm gonna go
It's
down the list of stuff they've done since this generation started, since Phil took over, right? Mojang, Havoc, Simply Gone, Mixer, Play PlayFab, Game Pass, Play Anywhere, ID at Xbox. They purchased 5 new studios. You know, it's like, I mean, like, I'll go through, you know, the list already. Ninja Theory, Undead Labs, Playground Games, The Initiative, Compulsion Games. They've come up with the program where you can play games early, EA access, but not EA access. Jesus Christ, what's it called? I know it's ID at Xbox, but it kind of falls under a different category. Um, Help me out, Boom.
I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat at the same time, dude. I get. What was the question, brother? I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. But then, you know, they got so much slack for closing their studios, right? They closed Press Play,
Yeah,
Lionhead,
you know
Fun
what? But
Connect Studios, but they've done so much since then.
yeah, you know, again, if you turn around and you take away, okay, yes, Lionhead closed. They obviously canceled Scalebound because basically Platinum Games was sucking them dry like a leech. No game was coming out. Uh, you know, the Press Play. I happen to think Press Play was a great studio, as a matter of fact. The studio that made Halo Wars 1, that was an RTS studio, they closed after getting them. You know, sometimes, you know, when you say, see, the thing with this is that when you say closed, you think that people are coming to work, there's a chain on the door and they're like, okay, we'll see you in court for your checks. They're moving that talent to other places, except for obviously the Platinum thing, because Platinum is their own company. But you can't argue what Phil has done since taking the lead role. You know, I mean, all he's done, everything that he talked about doing, he has done, right? He comes in and he said he wanted to make Xbox Live better. He did that with all of these services. He turned around, he said he wanted to fix the hardware issue. He gave us the S, then gave us the X, right? Hardware, not a problem. He comes up on stage, yesterday, and he talks about we will never be behind the 8 ball in regards to power ever again. If you're an Xbox fan, time to get excited, right?
Yeah.
Then he turns around and everyone's like, yeah, we got the games. And I'm one of them. I've got the first one. I've done numerous videos saying I believe in Phil, but I'm disappointed because I want games. And they show, I thought we were going to get one announcement for the studios. You said it yourself. We had no idea we were getting 5.
Yeah. I thought maybe 3, just based off the rumor we heard before.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get the 1 for sure. I thought maybe we'd get a second one. I didn't think we were going to get 5 studios announcements. I mean, that's just bananas.
Yeah.
But listen, I don't want to hold you up too long. This is again, it's only meant to be an hour or so long, depending on what we're talking about. I am going to be back tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Pred, obviously, if you have the time, you're more than welcome to join me. We're going to be talking everything Sony from tonight's press conference, keeping in line with the Boom's Pop-Up Podcast segment for E3 that I've been doing on my channel. Pred, I want to thank you for really taking the time. You kind of bailed me out because I probably would have only done this for half an hour because even though my wife says I'm very long-winded, I don't know if I have the gumption to run a show on my by myself. So, dude, thank you so much. Tell everyone where they can find you if they want to hit you up.
Predator_H2OS on Xbox, on PlayStation. Also has a Switch. If you guys want like all that information, it's on my Twitter. It's also Predator_H2OS. I'm on Steam as well. I do my own podcasts every now and then. It's like Boom's Pop-Up. I haven't done one in a while. Solo show. I try to do it on Sunday mornings before the Mooch and Crap show. So it's not like a live listen-in. I'll just do a recording and post it out. But obviously hit that little bell if you guys want to find out more about it. But so you get notified. But also next podcast on Saturdays, I'm a
Yes.
sixth man of the Crossfire podcast, and pretty much find me everywhere and everybody else's podcast. At least pop in the chat for a little bit, if anything. So hit me up those places, guys.
Yes, and do me a favor, please, for the love of Jehovah. Get this guy votes for his gameplay because he keeps getting the short end of the stick, and I can't take it. I vote every time.
Vote for Pred.
Vote for Pred, please. Pred for president of the next podcast. Sorry, bot. I know it's your show, but I gotta go with my man Pred. And I just want to give a gigantic shout out to the chat. First of all, I had 60 people watching, and like I said, I'm a small channel, but I like to think big. And that's why I'm constantly evolving and doing different things to bring more awareness to gaming. I like involving the chat. I'm growing the channel. I'm going to be hopefully sometime down the line finally hitting my 1,000 subs. And, I want to do some sort of giveaways. Just right now, it's just, again, the channel is growing. So that will be something that we'll be talking about in the near future. So stay tuned for that. I've been your host, MrBooMStickXL. Please give this a like before you go. And all I ask is that if you can, share this on social media, because a lot of the times YouTube doesn't give out the notifications. And I thought we put on a really good show considering it was a pop-up. And again, Pred, if you want to come on tomorrow, we're going to be talking Square. We're going to be talking Ubisoft, and we're going to be talking Sony. It should be a great conversation. Once again, thanks for everybody coming out. Have an awesome day.
Later.